The wave of the current economic recession takes its toll across the country, and cost of goods and services take a hike.
The thing there is that the country we are living now, nobody knows where we are going.
One commodity currently generating a lot of tension is cement, which only last week recorded about a 50% price hike.
I bought roughly about 200 bags last week. Now the man gave me 1,500. You can imagine the hike in price.
In 1999, when the country still depended on importation, cement sold for 500 naira and later rose to 625 naira in 2002. Same product now goes for between 2,300 and 2,500 naira, representing about a 500% increase.
If they had known the multi-effect of saying they want to remove their hand totally from the regulation of the oil price, that has resulted to high mass demand of dollar in the hand of black market.
The effect of this is telling negatively on builders and sellers of the product, who complain of low patronage.
Before this time, you can't see anybody here. People will come in looking for workers, there's no workers. But as of now, you can stay for more than a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The people, you saw them here, they have nothing to do.
The impacts of recession, no doubt, are with us. How do we begin to ease our way out of it?
The CBN is not in a position to properly fund the foreign exchange market. So the main solution now lies in the autonomous inflows from export proceeds, from oil companies bringing capital, from capital importation from foreign direct investors, and from also portfolio investors. And unless you have a fully market determined rate, those flows will not come in the way they should. And it is very, very important at this time.
Double-digit inflation rate, high cost of goods and services, and negative growth of the economy. It's definitely not the best of period for Nigerians. However, of all the possible ways out of this situation, the blame game is not listed, which means whatever it will take the country to get out of this situation, the government of the day must be willing to offer so that smiles could return to the faces of Nigerians again. Chris Elems, Channels Television News.
The economy is in focus now as we continue to talk about 2016 in retrospect. So apart from the issues that my colleague Chris mentioned in that report, we also had galloping inflation rates, we had a contraction in the gross domestic product, we had worsening unemployment, delay in the passage of the 2016 budget padding allegations like we mentioned at the beginning of the program, and most important, this cut across all sectors, was the issues in foreign exchange for manufacturers, for retailers, and even for the man on the street. Not to mention the relaunching of the interbank foreign exchange market and the launch of the FX OTC futures market. But let's listen to the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, speaking on this issue about the payment of outstanding salaries.
We are raising money. As you know, the Eurobond capital raise is on. We're about to appoint our advisor, so we'll be raising an additional $1 billion. 2 weeks ago, we approved the external borrowing plan. That was very important because if you remember when we said we would borrow, we said we would borrow the cheapest money first. We have approvals in that plan from the World Bank, from ADB, from GCA, with interest rates as low as 1.5% and tenures as long as 40 years to intervene in some specific areas, which include agriculture, education, health, rebuilding of the Northeast, and there are a lot of, and of course the railway projects that are very key to what we're doing. So there's a lot of activity going on. The issue with fiscal initiatives is that there's always a lag. There's always a time difference between when you release money and when it has an effect. And what we're trying to do now is to work on how we can shorten that lag. Some of those delays are in the procurement processes. We're working on that. We're working with the ministries to try and speed things up. Quite a lot has gone on defence because we needed to rebuild and retool the capability of our army, particularly to continue with the efforts in the Northeast. Interior, Transport. I'm sure you've seen activity has resumed on the abandoned airport project, the 4 international airport projects. We have funded those. Agriculture, of course, has received significant funding because of the time sensitivity of agriculture and because of the fact that food price was rising and we needed to intervene. There will also be funding of about 60 billion to the social intervention program, and that's very important in terms of putting money into people's pocket.
The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adosho, talking not about salaries, but about the country's borrowing plans, the procurement process, as well as development of key sectors of the economy.
Technical things, and some will say jargons, in trying to understand what exactly it was we were going through in terms of the economy, to the extent that everyone and anyone out there on the street understood that there's a kind of change in our economy. Joining us to look at what transpired in the year 2016, we have Dr. Boniface Chizia and Dr. Ezekiel Adeleye and Comrade Amici Asuguni. They'll be here to tell us what exactly 2016 has been like for our economy. Let's start with Dr. Ezekiel Adeleye. For 2016, when we woke up, initially some few analysts, economists like yourself, did say to the country that we were doing pretty okay. We were not headed downhill. The economy was pretty okay until we woke up, and that statement from the government in this year 2016 that Nigeria economy is officially, that was the word they used, in a recession.
Thank you very much. Really, it's unfortunate that we found ourselves in this position, and the Nigerians are really groping in serious hardship. The government seems to be unconcerned when you look at certain things that has happened. Fuel subsidy has been removed, eroding the value of naira in the hands of the common man. The charge for electricity again has been hiked up, and this again has reduced the purchasing power of the people. The unemployment rate is worsening daily, and the one that kills everyone is the fact that yes, our earnings from petroleum products has actually reduced at $38 per barrel, and we are unable to service the demand for foreign exchange by manufacturers, by the services industries, and by even everyone, to the point where the rate has crumbled from the 197 naira today to 305 naira officially, and at the black market is 485 naira today. So these effects has actually reduced the purchasing power that even the middleman, those who are even middle income earners, are feeling the impact. It's not only the lower cadre alone who are feeling it. Everyone is feeling the cadre and is feeling the impact in terms of their ability to purchase things. And this has really made the people to have a terrible position.
Comrade Amici, talk to us about how Nigerians coped in 2016. It was not the best of times, and labor unions just seem to just be looking at the issues and weighing them carefully.
I think the 2016 truly is dramatic in nature. Honestly, the struggle started from the beginning of the year, and thank God it all started even with you when we were talking about the threat to the economy already with the New Year greetings. And then when Labour was out to fight this ungodly crusade by government trying to remove subsidy and saying they already have alternative to cushion effect. And then generally Nigerians, like and country that believe in individual depending on themselves, general strike at a point, people may not know their benefit or what they stand to gain. But I know today, Nigerians will testify that the promise made by government with regard to cushioning the effect, the hardship invited by the removal of subsidy is actually growing daily. The 500 billion naira that was set aside for the social intervention fund till today, 1,000 has not been implemented. That is poor, that is unpopular, it's ungodly, it's wicked. And then as Labour, we must do everything possible to ensure that 2017 certainly Nigeria's confidence will be revived. So for us, we believe government did not keep to their promise, and if they do so, clear the fine, because I am a member of the committee, actually the 16-man committee working out the strategies to implement the so-called palliative. And if there is no palliative, then what are you implementing? So as far as we are concerned, nothing is on the table. And I will tell you clearly that the issue of Nigeria 2016 was poorly managed.
All right, so Comrade will come back and we'll continue the conversation. Dr. Boniface Chizia, please hold on to your thoughts. Let's also remind you that we've got Mr. Femi Adesina, the Special Advisor to the President on Media in Abuja, also on the program with us. He'll be joining and weighing in on this conversation. We'll return after this.